Along we give Elohim all the glory, praise him for the wonderful things he has been doing for us. We received a question from someone from Facebook by the name of Caroline. So someone will read it for us and then I will explain it within a minute and then we will go on. Listen.
The question is, Shalom, brothers in the Messiah. I have a question concerning the image of the beast. When the Christians came to Africa to bring their gospel.
Not the Christians, when the Europeans, known as the Christians, came to Africa
to bring their
gospel.
Were we Africans already familiar with the Messiah?
Were we African Hebrews?
Because the Hebrews fled into Africa after the destruction of the temple. So how did we Africans come to know the Bible? That was the question.
And what is the second one? I saw something.
The second one was, so how did we come to know the Bible?
We bless you for the question, Caroline. It's a very wonderful question. So we were not Africans, we were Hebrews. We have always been Hebrews. The Hebrews were not carrying Bibles around. It was only the priest who had the scrolls. But the Hebrews in Africa, they had the traditions. They knew the law. So you go to a place like Ghana, they pour libation. When someone sins, they will kill a bird or they will slaughter a sheep. Never a swine or a pig, but they will always offer a clean animal to cleanse the land. So they were doing all the laws. You can read about this, I think, in the book of Jeremiah 47 to 49, where it says that, behold, you Hebrews who fled into Africa, when you were in the Middle East, or what they call the Middle East, in Jerusalem, you said that you cannot keep the laws. But when you fled into Africa, all of a sudden the drink offering, which is the pouring of libation, you were performing them. All of a sudden, killing of animals, you were performing them. But you were not doing them for me, but you were doing them to the queen of the heavens. That's right. The demons of the heavens. So they had the traditions. Now, when it comes to how they got the Bible, the scriptures has always been there. You go to Ethiopia, they have the original scrolls. It has always been there. The Romans, when they invaded Jerusalem, they took all the books and the scrolls and every single thing that belonged unto Elohim, excluding the Ark of the Covenant. Because when the Messiah even was born, the Ark of the Covenant was not there. It has been hidden in the mountains by the prophet Jeremiah. And the angel of Elohim told him that no one will be able to see this Ark until the day that the Hebrews have returned into the promised land. That one day they will be playing in the mountains and behold, they will find the Ark of the Covenant. So when people lie to you and say that the Ark is in Ethiopia, it's a lie. It has been hidden and no one will be able to find it until we return back home. So the scrolls has been there hidden in Ethiopia. The original books are there. The Romans, they took some of the scrolls and then they painted into the scrolls or the scriptures their own images. That's what we are going to show you. They have painted into the scriptures their own images. And this is the reason why the scripture said that there should not be anyone who should dare to add. But they've been adding and adding. You see, all the Hebrew nations never added. But the beast, he has been adding because he has been changing the laws. So that is the simple explanation I can give you. One day, hopefully, we will touch on the topic, the Hebrews again, and then we will be able to explain it in much more detail. So we are still on the image. I have to show you the image today. Come what may, I must show you that image, that wicked image of the beast today. And then next week, by the grace of Elohim, we will do the touchdown. So that you may understand that your logic, your mindset, everything has been compromised. Every single thing, the way you think, you even dream and see that image, and you think, oh, I saw Jesus in my dream. You've been seeing him. Of course, you've been seeing him. But you've never seen the Spirit. Listen to the book. Revelation 13 from verse
13 from verse 13.
Listen.
And he does great wonders.
Now this beast, which is known as the Roman Empire, which is known as the European Union, which is known as America, they do great wonders.
So that they make fire to come
so that they can make electricity come
down from
that
heaven.
They can let bombs drop, that you 31st December you see all of these, what do they call them? Fireworks. And you are like, what a shock. No Negro nation could make those things. You are shocked. You think someone is going to come from space and do this, and no one will be able to do that except the two witnesses. Listen to them.
So that he makes fire come down from heaven.
And he does that, and you were like, wow.
In the sight of men.
In the sight of all men in Europe, in Africa.
And deceives them.
And because of that, you have been deceived.
Them that dwell on the earth.
Go ahead.
By the means of those miracles.
Go ahead.
Which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
Listen.
Saying to them that dwell on the earth. That they should make an image to the beast.
He said, now, let us make ourselves an image. Let us.
That's right.
Let us create God in our own image. Right. Let us now make God in our own image. So that we can present it unto the world. And there was a sword behind that image. That's right. It's either you, that's why you Christians, you sit at home talking about Muslims. Do you know how many millions of people the Crusaders killed? Do you know how many of your brothers they killed because they refused to accept the beast? That's right. That they said, no, we don't know this person. And they said, it's either you choose this or you die. You don't know about this history. You sit at home eating kelewele, eating in taba and dokuna, and you think that's life. You don't research. You don't want to know anything when it comes to history. It's not important. If you don't know where you were, how can you know where you are going? That's trustworthy. You don't know, you don't want to read anything that concerns that beast. When it concerns Europe, it's not important. You don't want to know. If you knew, you would be surprised. That's why he said that Satan, who has deceived the whole world, and the so-called prophets, they don't talk about these things. They only prophesy about who is going to win an election in Ghana. They only prophesy about who is going to die this December. They only prophesy about a car accident that is coming. But the mysteries in the scriptures and all of these prophets, you will find the image of the beast in their church. That crazy image that Elohim hates, you will find it in their church. Listen to the book.
They said to them that dwell on the earth.
Now they said unto all other nations who dwell upon the earth,
that they should make an image to them.
Let us make God like our own image. Let us now make an image and say to the whole world, this is your God. This is what you must worship. Now you go to Mecca, they have the same image. This is the reason why he said that they have deceived the whole world. How come the Pope and the Saudis, the guys from Mecca, they can sit in one room and have a dialogue? And they present to you, the Muslims, they present to you what they call the Mahdi. And what color does he have? He is white with blue eyes. But when you read the surah, it said that it was Allah who took black clay and created Adam. Now when you take black clay and create someone, what will be his color? But they talk to you and they show you an image with blue eyes. And then the Christians, we will come to you shortly. Listen.
The beast which had the wound by a sword.
Now the beast had a wound by a sword. Pause there. The scripture said that Elohim who was and is to come. Now the beast he was.
That's right.
And he was not.
That's right.
And now he is.
That's right.
This crazy beast that you are talking about, that you will be raptured and then they would. The scripture said that the Antichrist has always been there when they were writing the epistle.
That's right.
But your pastor tells you, no, you will be raptured, then another Antichrist will come. So the beast who was, so he was the Roman Empire. All of a sudden, during the Renaissance and what they call the Dark Ages, they disappeared from history.
And started.
No one knew where they were. They went into the Caucasus Mountains somewhere in Russia, drinking blood and whatnot. And then all of a sudden, from the 15th century, they arrived.
That's right.
The same people, they changed their name from Roman to European Union.
Renaissance.
They disappeared, and now they are. And when they were coming, America introduced to you that image. Let us conquer the world with this image. So the slaves, they were afraid to attack Massa because they thought that image would kill them. Because the image, they made that image to be like them. So once you have that image in front of you, then you are afraid to attack Massa. And it is still working in our mind till today. It is still working in our mind because you think, oh, God is white, so don't touch them. Oh, the angels are white, so don't touch them. I will show you with proof, with images and names so that you can Google it. That your images, what they call angels, are nothing but Greek idols.
That's right.
Sure.
But you sit at home and you have angels on your wall. These so-called baby angels.
Baby angel.
Fire burn.
Oh, Cupid.
Do you know what these people have done to you? And you are sitting at home drinking wine. Drinking wine. Elohim said, who has believed our report?
That's right.
But when these crazy prophets come, everybody believes them. But when we come and we show you with history, with the word, you don't give a damn.
I don't feel it in my heart.
You don't, because you don't. I don't want to even reach your heart. It's too dirty. It's full of darkness. Elohim hates that heart. You have blocked that heart with that image.
It's deceitful.
There are some people, they can never worship Elohim without that image. They will die for that image, these black people.
Yeah.
But the ones who introduce this image to you, all of a sudden, they have ceased from becoming Christians.
Yeah.
And now they are unbelievers.
I believe in science.
They not believe in Scientology.
Yeah.
They believe in space.
Buddha.
And you are there, you can defend it with your life. But when it comes to righteousness, we are no more under the law. Who taught you that nonsense? They taught you are not under the law, but they tell you to pay your tax to them. They bring you under their law, and that one you obey. But when it comes to the laws of the Almighty, you are not under the law. In the New Testament, it said that Satan himself
Transformed.
2 Corinthians, listen to the book of 2 Corinthians 11, chapter, I think 14 to 15. Satan himself. Listen.
2 Corinthians chapter 11.
And I'm talking to the Hebrews. All the other nations, if they want to listen, so be it. But we are speaking to the Hebrews. And this is the reason why all of these Christians, they think that the Jews are white. Because the image they gave to you, if Jesus is white and he was a Jew, then of course the Jews must be white.
That's right.
This is why they have that mindset that they don't want to think outside the box. And some of them even tell you, oh, the Jews were olives.
Olives.
Olives. Their color was olive. What color is olive? It is either green or black. But they tell you it's holy. That's what they have been taught at the Bible cemeteries.
They agree.
They have been taught at this Bible cemetery, so they cannot think outside the box.
A cemetery.
So once you give them this, then they take another thing and present it to you. We have been inviting them for a debate. No one will come, but yet they will tell people we are false. But the airwaves are open. Come Friday or Sunday, we did read any topic. But no one will come. But yet they have women dancing around them, calling them my prophetic father. Once your eyes are shut, one day you will understand. Listen to the book.
Verse 14.
This is 2 Corinthians.
2 Corinthians.
New Testament
11,
for you. Listen.
Verse 14.
Verse 14.
And no marvel.
And no marvel that Satan,
For Satan himself,
he has transformed himself into what?
into an angel of light.
Into an angel of light. So you can have a dream and you see that image. This crazy image. Let me show you this crazy homosexual.
What?
Huh?
What?
Do you know who this is?
My Jesus.
You sit at home and you dream about this man.
Oh.
I saw Jesus in my dream. Do you know who this man is?
Who is he?
Caesar.
Tell us.
We will come to that in a minute. You sit at home, you go to Ghana. All of these churches, they have this big, they have these billboards. They have this man behind them. So you know the spirit which controls them. And you are there, you are afraid of them. Touch not my anointed. They are not anointed. You can touch them. Nothing will happen to you. When they rape you, attack them. Send them to jail.
Yes.
When they are arrested, did they disappear? Did Elohim send the Malachims like in the days of Paul to come and break the doors?
Yeah.
They were crying in jail. Call
them.
themselves angels and you worship them. Listen to the book.
Satan himself
is
transformed into an angel
he has
of
been
light.
transformed into an angel of light. So in a dream, he will direct you what to do. And you see him. I saw Jesus in my dream. I saw him. My Jesus. He said to me, my son, my daughter, tomorrow by this time, I'll be blessing you. Go into the word and preach. And you woman, you carry a Bible on your head. But you then wear them leggings. When you are preaching, you are shaking. When you are blowing in tongues, you are shaking. From your head to toe, everything is fake. And these people are talking about virtuous ladies to you.
What? Minister, calm down.
From their head to toe, they have an image that was presented to them by Hollywood. That image is in their head. And they are talking about you have to be a righteous, when you are. They don't even say righteous. You have to be a Christian, when you are a Christian. Massa.
Too much wood.
Too much wood in their head. Hollywood syndrome in their system. They don't want to hear anything which has to do with righteousness. You can show them this image and we will let you Google it. Yet, they are not going to remove the image from their room.
Yes. Internet's from the devil.
They are not going to do it. They don't, that's why, so when Elohim shows me the judgment of these nations, I used to pray for them when I used to be a Christian. But now I understand. You can't pray for them. It's a wicked generation. That you can show them the truth that this is a wicked image and yet
I don't feel it in my heart.
hey,
I'm not confused.
this is really dangerous. Yet, nothing there. Listen to the book.
Verse 15. Therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also.
So, his ministers also, when they come to you and they say, "Thus said the Lord," the Lord just spoke to me. The Lord just prepare me some jollof tomorrow. Bring it around 11 p.m. We will dine together. And when we are dining together, the Spirit will come upon me. I will throw you on the bed and just listen to me. Whatever you hear me speak, do it. Do it. And the married woman will be like this. Do it. Do me. Do me. And they have been doing you.
No, that's not true.
They have been doing you. Because the ministers are also from him. They have also transformed themselves into the ministers of Elohim. So now when you see a true minister of Elohim, you hate him.
Despise.
So the Bible said that they hate the one who stand in the gates and rebuke them.
Yeah.
And they love the one who tells them, forget about anything you have done. Forget about you smoking. Forget about your heart. Elohim will bless you. Just give me $1. Collect the dollars. Give it to me and everything will be fine. But unto you Hebrews, listen to what Elohim says in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, from 11. Unto you Hebrews, from 11 to 13.
Jeremiah chapter 2.
You worship that image. Go to these Gentiles who gave you that image. They don't even have it anymore. But you go to any Christian church, you have that image. And your pastor told you that you will be raptured into heaven 2012. There will be a rapture. We still stay here, still panicking. Nothing has happened.
It's 2000. 2000.
And they've been prophesying, the rapture is imminent. Do you know what the word imminent means? These Negroes, they come to us from Canada, from Kenya, from Ghana, from whatever. The rapture is imminent. We're still there here 10 years later. Do you know what imminent means? Have you Googled that word? Have you dissected that word
Before preaching.
before you went ahead to preach and use that word? May Yah Elohim have compassion. Listen to this, Hebrews.
Jeremiah chapter 2 from verse 1.
From 11 to 13.
Jeremiah chapter 2 from verse 11.
Mm.
Hath a nation
So-
changed?
He said, has these other nations,
Hath a nation changed their Elohims?
look at the Arabs, they have not changed their Elohim. They still recite from an Arabic book. They have not changed their Elohim Allah.
Mm.
You go to China, they have not changed that guy with big belly, Buddha.
Big believer.
Still has
They have not changed him for thousands of years. They've not changed him. The Europeans, the image they have given to you for hundreds of years, they've not changed it. Zeus and all the Jupiter gods, they've not changed it. They've transformed it
That's
and presented it to you as angels of light.
Mm.
They've not changed it. But when it comes to the Hebrews, what has happened?
Had a nation changed their else,
Mm.
which are yet no else.
But they are no else. They have no power yet.
But my people,
But the Hebrews,
That's right. Mm.
we are the ones who will defend this nonsense in the church. Someone will be like, no, he's blaspheming. Yeah, I'm blaspheming against this crazy guy.
They don't cry.
If these Christians ministers see this, they will say, justice is blaspheming, is going to, yeah, we will meet in hell and see.
Oh,
He's going to hell. I will meet you there and I will survive and I will still ascend up high. Huh? They have this guy worshiping this guy. Who gave it to you? He will show you. Listen.
but my people
But my people, the Hebrews,
have
who
changed
call
their glory.
themselves Africans, who call themselves Christians, who call themselves now Muslims,
African American.
Afro-Americans,
Afro-Americans.
Negroes, Black Chinese, Black Taiwan, Taiwan,
Blasians.
Black Asians, Black whatnot. What has happened to them?
But my people
But my people,
have changed their glory
they have changed the glory that they had with Elohim and they have accepted this as their Elohim.
for that which doth not
They
glorify.
worship this. When they are praying, look at how they pray. Look at how they pray. That's why the Messiah said, I came in my Father's name.
Mm.
And they said, no, you black man,
You
impossible.
are too black.
Too black.
Too black.
You are too black and you are not even what? Handsome.
No comment.
They gave you this one. This smooth boy. But the scripture says in the book of Isaiah 50 and 3. Listen to Isaiah 50 and 3. That the Messiah, he was not a handsome man.
Amen.
But they gave you this smooth boy. And look at the sign that he is doing.
What?
Do you know what that sign means? We will show you in a minute. Listen to the book of Isaiah 50 and 3.
Isaiah chapter 53
From verse 1,
from
listen.
verse 1. Who had believed
Who has believed this report?
our report?
Listen.
And to whom is the arm of
And
the
to whom is the
revealed?
arm, the strength, and the power of Elohim revealed?
For he shall grow
For
up
he shall grow up
before him
as
as a tender
a
plant,
tender plant.
and as a root
Listen,
out of a dry ground.
go ahead.
He had no form.
Now, when he came, he had no form
verse
to
is that?
desire. Isaiah 50 and 3 advent.
Verse 2.
Listen,
He had no form,
he had no form,
nor comeliness.
nor beauty or handsomeness.
And when we shall see
And
him,
when they saw him in Jerusalem.
there is no beauty.
There was no beauty in
That
him.
we
And where
should
is this guy
desire
coming
him.
from? That we should desire. But this one, the whole world desires.
Smooth boy.
He's a smooth boy.
Fresh
And
boy.
look at the garment he is wearing. They are already showing you where this guy is coming from. Isn't it the attire of this? What is their name? Pilate and whatnot.
That's right.
When you watch the movie they call Jesus or the past, they use it the garment of Pilate. This is what the Romans, they call them the dukes.
Yeah, that's right.
What they were wearing.
Dukes of Rome.
And you see their son? Go back to where you were, Jeremiah. The book of Jeremiah 2:11. You are now at verse 13. Listen.
Jeremiah 2 from verse 13.
Go ahead.
From verse 13.
Listen.
For my people
have
committed two evils.
Once they have committed three evil.
They have forsaken me,
They have forsaken I, Elohim,
the fountain of living
the
waters,
fountain of living waters.
and hewed them out cisterns.
And now they are believing in crazy things. That's all that I want. I want to show them images.
That's right.
We are going to read from the Apocrypha
That's
if you
right.
are at home.
That's right.
If you don't have it, it
Right.
is a must-have.
Yes, yes.
We are going to show you one of the statements and the verses
That's right.
that made them to remove all of these books
That's
from
right.
the original King James Version.
The making of Caesar.
The making of the beast.
That's right.
That image of the beast written and found in the Apocrypha. The book of wisdom of Solomon. Chapter 14 from verse 8. If you are at home, the Apocrypha, if you have the original King James Version, it is in there, but someone removed it.
Who removed it?
Who removed it? Your pastor will tell you, when they met, certain books were not, they were not inspired by the Holy Spirit.
Not canonic.
They were not canon and non-canon. Certain books were not inspired. Is the book of Philippians inspired by the Urua? Have you ever heard a pastor preach from the book of Philemon?
Philemon.
What? Have you ever heard a pastor in Amsterdam or Ghana or Nigeria preach from the book of Philemon? Yet they removed the prophecies, the
That's
first
right.
Esdras and second Esdras and Maccabees
That's right.
and wisdom of Solomon gave you
Philemon.
Philemon.
That's right.
Well, Paul tell you, hey, Shalom, when you see Abigail, greet her for you.
That's right.
How is that inspired by the Ruach? How is that inspired by the Ruach?
The Spirit came
But
upon
as for that, they kept that one.
It was a serious-
But when it comes to the wisdom of Solomon, when it comes to Ecclesiasticus, when it comes to the rest of Esther, when it comes to first and second Ezra, let's remove it.
That's right.
Otherwise, these people will find out who we are.
Removing
But Philemon, leave it.
Leave it.
I have read the whole Bible. Philemon, I don't read. Once I read Philemon, I jump. Nothing there for me. When you see lion, tell him to be Talisa for me. That's all that you read in Philemon. Yet they left that. But when it comes to wisdom of Solomon,
it was a message.
wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 from verse 8. Listen.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14.
Read it first for me.
That's
Listen.
right.
But that which is made with
But that
hands
which is made with hands
is cursed,
is cursed.
as well it.
Now listen to this. So he said that the one who made that image is cursed.
That's right.
And that image itself is also cursed.
As
Now,
he
listen.
that made it.
Go ahead.
He-
So when they tell you Elohim hates the sinner, not the sinner, he is mad. He is mad. Listen.
He, because he made it,
One, because he committed the sin.
and it,
Because
being corruptible,
being corruptible,
it was called Elohim.
it was called Jesus. It was called the Messiah. It was called an angel. Listen.
For the ungodly
For the ungodly.
and his
Now listen to this.
ungodliness
For the sinner and the sin he committed
are both alike.
both are alike in hate, but they
Hateful.
tell you Elohim hates the sin and not the sinner. So let's remove that statement from the scripture. Listen.
They are both alike hateful unto
You and your sin. Can you have homosexuality without people being gays? Can you have something called what is
A murderer.
a murderer, but there is no one who committed it?
That's right.
Huh?
True.
Stealing,
Without
but there's no thief.
What?
Who will go to jail?
Only religious people who are caged in the box can make such statements. Listen to the book.
For that which is made,
For that which is made, this wickedness which was made, go ahead,
shall be punished.
it shall be punished. When Elohim comes, you will see this boy in hell.
Good boy.
This boy,
What
he has
boy?
been in hell ever since. He's waiting for you. Listen,
Who's the boy?
go ahead.
Shall be punished
He shall be punished
together with him that made it.
with the nation who made that image and presented it to you.
Therefore, even upon the
listen
idols
to
of the
this. Therefore, upon the what?
upon the
The
idols
idols of the
Gentiles,
Gentiles. Where did this guy come from?
Beast of Ephesus.
Was he born in Jerusalem? This guy? Do people in Jerusalem look like this with this hair and blue eyes? Have you asked yourself that question? Where is this one coming from? Where is his mother coming from? Listen to the book.
therefore upon the idols of the
Therefore,
Gentiles
upon the idols of the Babylonians, of the Gentiles,
shall there be a
there will
visitation.
be a visitation. You can read the book of, I think, Romans chapter 1.
That's right.
And he said it's Roman, it's Rome,
That's right.
the Europeans. He said that because they believed in an image
That's right.
and they made it, therefore Elohim shall visit them with homosexuality.
Wow.
That's why homosexuality is only supported by this continent. Listen to the book.
Because in the creature of Elohim,
Because in the creature of Elohim,
they have become an abomination.
it is now an abomination. Do you know when Elohim, when it comes to idolatry, it is almost Elohim cannot even forgive. When your mind is really into idolatry. He said when you read the book of, I think, 1 Samuel 15, he said that what? Stubbornness and disobedience is unto me like someone who worship idols. Listen to the book.
From
Which
verse 11. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentile there shall be a visitation.
There shall be a visitation.
Because the creature of Elohim,
It
they have become an abomination,
Right.
a stumbling block to the souls
is
of
now a
men.
stumbling block unto the soul of man. Look at this sign. Buddha does it. Mary is doing it. The Hindu people, they are doing this sign. And Jesus is doing it. It's called what? The mudras.
The mudras.
Do you know what that means?
Tell us.
It's a demonic enchantment.
That's right.
And you have this man at your home, you doing this. You think he's giving you a high five.
That's right.
When you die, you will see. Listen to the book.
And a snare to the feet of the unwise.
And it is what? A
A
deception unto them who do not want to read, because it's all about the heart.
For the devising of idols.
For the devising, the making of idols,
What?
these crazy idols. Listen,
It was the beginning of
we
spiritual
will drop all of
fornication.
these images on Facebook, so don't panic.
That's right.
With all the drawings, listen.
For the devising of
For the
idols.
devising, the making of these idols, these images was the beginning of what?
Of spiritual fornication.
So when you are worshiping, when you have these things, spiritually you have been sold already.
That's right.
You already bear the mark 666.
666.
Nothing can save you if you die and you have not repented.
Wow.
So sit at home and begin to blow baka 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 baka. You've been chopping banana in hell. You'll be dining with this guy. Listen to the book.
Wisdom of Solomon 14:12. And the invention of them,
Right?
the corruption of life. For neither were they from the beginning.
In the beginning, these images were not there.
That's right.
Neither shall they be
And when
forever.
Elohim comes, he will destroy the beast and that image.
For by the vain glory of
For
men
by the vain glory of men, they entered into
into
the
the world,
Who entered into the world? The Romans. And did what?
and therefore shall they come shortly to an end.
And therefore their end shall come, because they have been invading all countries with an image and killing them descendants because they did not ask. When they entered into America, they said, we cannot accept this image as our savior. They killed millions of the Indians.
Slaughter, genocide.
But your pastor doesn't talk about, they talk about ISIS. You know, the Antichrist is the Muslim, really. In their surah, you have Isa. And they said, Muhammad said that I am about to die and I know not where I'm going. But behold, the son of Mary.
That's right.
Behold, the son of Mary shall return. You sit at home. Your pastor told you, don't read any book. Just focus on the New Testament. And New Testament, skip Revelation, but read Philemon. Listen.
For a father afflicted with untimely
A
mourning.
father afflicted by what?
With untimely mourning.
So one day there was a father in the kingdom of Rome. And he was afflicted. And what was the name?
Alexander.
Pope Alexander
That's right. The sixth.
the sixth,
That's right.
who had a son. The Mary you know was the daughter of that Pope. That Mary you call the mother of Jesus, that image you have. She was the daughter of that Pope Alexander the Sixth. If you have Google and internet, you guys who are well connected, instead of you watching pornography and masturbating,
Amen.
Amen.
do some research
Amen.
before you break your thing.
That's right.
Do
Amen.
them research
Amen. Help
and
us.
stop watching crazy people doing things that beasts will not even do. Listen to the book.
For a father afflicted with
For Pope
untimely mourning.
Alexander the Sixth, when he was afflicted, when he saw that the son was about to die,
When he had made an image of his child,
he then made an image of his child,
soon taken away,
soon taken away. Listen.
now honored him as an elf.
And now they gave you that image. This was the original painting.
Original one.
When they were painting, they gave you the image and then they started to paint him.
What's his name?
He is called what? Caesar what?
Borgia.
Borgia. It was 1503 AD. 1503 AD, after the death, that they made this image. Caesar Borgia, the son of Pope Alexander the Sixth.
Google it.
Listen to the book.
Now honored him as an elf.
And now they honored him as a smooth who? Why is that image? They honored him as what? The Savior. They now honor this man who is dead and gone as a Savior.
Which was then a dead man.
He was a dead man, but now you said he is alive. That's why when you read the book of Revelation, it said that he speaks. How does he speak? In movies, they give you the passion of Christ. That Negroes can watch and they cry. Look at my Savior. Look at what they did to him. You are mad.
Repent for 3 days.
And then you repented for three hours. And after that, you were watching pornography. That's what they did. You know how Satan works. You think someone is going to come and in movies, the image of the beast is speaking to you.
That's right.
On radio, he is speaking to you. When you open your Bible, they have these images in it. So when you are reading it, you are seeing him. And then when you are lying down, he speaks to you in a dream. Some of them even seen him in real vision. Telling them, my son, you see this guy in your dream, you are doomed. You are doomed.
Wow.
But people, I have had a dream about this guy, this monster. And he was calling me, come, and I'm like, this one? No. In the sky, this crazy guy. And I'm like, yeah, no. And all these other people standing there in the dream, they're like,
Wow.
that's why the scriptures that behold, he cometh with clouds and all eyes shall see him. And then they will begin to mourn. They will be like,
no secret thing.
Yeah.
wow,
Wow.
this is not him. This cannot be him. You've been waiting for this guy, but this guy, this guy is dead and gone. But you are still waiting for him that he's going to rapture. If this guy is coming with rapture, I don't want to be part of it. Are you mad? But you are at home waiting for this man to come and rapture you.
He killed millions of people.
Do you know how many people this guy killed? And they'll put the name of the Messiah behind him and present it unto him. This is your God. Let us make an image.
That's right.
Let us make God in our own image. Let us make God look like us. So when you type God, I type in God the Father. Where is that image?
There. That's
You
right.
type in God the Father in Google, you have this image. You type in Google God the Father, they present you with this. But this is Zeus. Everybody know this guy as Zeus.
That's
Here
right.
he is.
Zeus.
This is Zeus. They give it to you. They have this. This one.
You see him in Hercules.
You see him in Hercules. This is
You
Zeus.
see him in Hercules.
Does it not look like if you type in now Jehovah and see the images you want Jehovah
Same
God?
thing.
They give you this image, this Roman gods, and now they introduce it on Facebook. You women, you put flowers on your head.
That's right.
Yes, fire, burn down Babylon.
That's right.
Do you know where these things are coming from? So when you are talking about an image of the beast, do you know what that image is?
Oh, come on.
Whenever something is presented, you are the first people to try it out.
That's right.
They are just flowers.
You are the first. Yeah, they are just flowers. Try and see.
Snapchat.
So don't repent. Continue to put it there.
Just that.
You'll be a flower girl,
Just doggies.
but you don't blossom in the summertime.
Oh.
Something is wrong.
Wow.
Something is wrong. And all our Negroes, they have it. They have arrived. Do you know where these things are coming from? When they introduce things to you, don't do research.
Don't research. Don't read.
They give you this baby angel.
That's right. How cute. How cute.
Type in, if you have time, type in, it's called Cupid.
God of love.
The god of what? Erotic.
That's right.
Pornography.
Yes.
They give. Do you know what these Romans have done to you?
That's right.
And you are waiting for another image to come.
Mm.
But it has already been there. Baby image, you don't see black, you see this. A Roman god.
Baby.
And they have transformed them and presented it to you in Christianity. So you type in angels, you see these people.
That's right.
You see this, you type in God, you see this. You type in Jesus, they give you this guy. And you are like, yeah. You have been worshiping idols, Hebrews. Repent before Elohim slay you. When you are snoring, listen.
Which was then a
This is
dead
the guy
man,
when they were painting, he was a dead man.
and delivered to those that were under him.
And then because they have invaded the whole world, they delivered it unto the whole world and said what?
And delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices.
And then they are making sacrifices for him. Let's celebrate Ascension Day.
That's
Easter time, they show you passion of Christ. Even though they don't believe in Holland anymore, according to them.
That's right.
When Easter is coming, all of a sudden they show you the passion. All of a sudden they show you the passion of Christ. When you see their image being slaughtered and you are like, my God, look at what they did to him. Do you know what that image did to you psychologically? That now you hate your brother because he's black.
Mm.
Now you have to bleach your skin because you think Jesus is white. Because you think the Messiah is white. You think Elohim is white. You think
The
the angels are white. So let us make God in our own image so that they will think that we are what? The stars,
That's
the
right.
angels of the heaven. So they are called what? The stars of Hollywood.
Mm.
You worship them. You dress like them. You speak like them. You talk like them. Your reasoning is like them. You follow their marriages.
Their haircuts.
Brad Pitt and the rest. And Jolie, Angelina, whatever her name is with the lips.
Angelina Jollof.
I've been telling you, you see their marriages?
They're all divorced.
They were dating when they were living together for tens of years. They never divorced.
Mm.
But as soon as they married, I've been telling you, Negroes, they can date, but once they marry, it is not going to work. And this is the lifestyle we have picked on in Europe. And you go to Ghana, it's worse. These women who call themselves prophetess and have churches in Ghana, this white boy. You go there, this is the one who will salute you.
The same for the men. That's true.
And the men, I don't even want to start talking about them.
It's even worse.
They follow this man, thinking that once they die, this man will save them. Let us make God in our own image. Listen, go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon 14 verse 16.
Listen.
Thus in process of time,
an ungodly and abominable custom, tradition,
grown strong.
It has now been so strong to the extent that especially our women,
it was kept
you
as
can't
a
touch
law.
this one. Our women, you cannot touch this.
Can touch it.
The Roman Catholic are people, they're like during Easter, they see in Ghana, they said that they see Mary in the skies.
Wow.
You go to the mountain, we saw him feely. Of course.
The statue was crying.
And it was crying, feely. You've been seeing it. Because Satan himself has transformed
into an angel.
and you are at home. You think because you saw that is reality.
And then
We've been seeing it, but I ran. I told him fire bed. But you will see this man in the sky. You will buy a jet fighter or whatever it is called
to meet him.
to meet him.
In the sky.
Because this one cannot rapture you. It's a dead man. Listen to the book.
An ungodly custom
An
grown strong.
ungodly and abomination practice has now grown so
It
strong.
was kept as a law.
Now it is a law. So when you think about Christmas, you think about this image. Oh, he died for us. He has been born. And when he has been born, they show you this one.
That's right.
Doing this.
Mary had a little lamb.
Yeah, a little lamb she had.
And now black people get mad if you show them a black Messiah.
It's madness that our own black people.
That
Do you say that the Messiah is black? You are crazy? How can the Messiah be black?
That's
Black
right.
is bad. Black is not good. How can, you guys are blaspheming. How can the Messiah be black? You are mad.
Wow.
Any good thing come out of Jerusalem?
Can any good thing come out of Jerusalem? Can any good thing come out of Africa? That is the mindset you have created.
Accepted him.
And you have accepted this crazy image. And you talk about you want to be free. How can you be free when you have this man as your God? That the ones who introduce it to you, they don't worship it anymore. But you are the one, these ladies can defend this man. They see him in supermarkets. They see him when they are shopping. Oh, I just saw someone, she really resembled my Jesus, your Jesus indeed.
Wow.
And you will die and meet him.
Let's take a selfie.
Take a selfie. Please, can I take a picture with you?
You look like Jesus.
There was one this guy, we went to Nigeria, we looked like this monster. This nigga, can we take a picture with you? Listen to the book.
Engraven images
Engraven images.
were worshipped.
Even if, and it was not true, even if this man was the Messiah, even if. Did not Exodus say that thou shalt not make unto thee any likeness
Amen.
Of anything.
of
in
me or any angel in the heavens? Yet they give you baby Jesus,
Baby James.
baby jet. They give you this voice, this Roman gods, Roman deities, and you are worshiping them every day.
So even the black people with their black images.
And black people.
Yeah.
So even if you are Hebrew, I don't have a black Jesus.
That's right.
I don't have a black angel. If I have that image in my room, I'm going to die.
That's right.
But you are worshiping this false image and you will die for him. But when the truth comes, listen, we'll be done within 5 minutes.
Engraven images
Engraven images.
were worshipped by the commandments of kings.
Now every nation is worshiping this image. You can type in, if you are a Muslim, the Mahdi who is to come. He looks the same like this one. The same as this man. Do you know who controls religion?
The Pope.
How come the so-called Jews, they are bombing Palestinians
That's right.
who are Muslims? They hate other Muslims, but Saudi Arabia, they are in bed with them. How come Saudi Arabia can sponsor them? Do you know who controls religion? Listen.
Whom men could not honor in presence.
When they made them, men could not honor him in presence because he was a dead man. So what did they do?
Because they dwelt far off.
Because they were dwelling in the rocks, in the woods in Africa.
They took the counterfeit of their
Therefore, they made an image of this man who is dead,
of his
Caesar
visage
Borgia,
from far,
from Rome, from Italy.
and made an express image.
And they have made an express image, the same as the Messiah was the express image of Elohim. They made an express image of their son.
Of a king whom they honored.
Of a king whom they honored, a prince.
To the end that by their forwardness,
Go ahead.
they might flatter him that was absent, and as if he were present.
So they are able to present this man to him. He speaks. You see him in dream. You hear his voice. So now you think he is alive. Listen.
Also, the singular diligence of the artificer did help to set forward the
And because they were able to make an image, it did help because they were able to present it to you. I'm looking at one riding on a white horse. Where is that image? Where you think is coming to save you from whatever? Go and read.
Also, the singular diligences of the artificer did help to set forward the ignorant to more superstition.
Right.
For he, peradventure, willing to please one in authority, forced all his skill to make the.
So the one who painted it, he did a very good. That's what I was searching for. How can you show a Messiah coming and the garment he's wearing is Roman garments? Look at it. So, the rapture is coming. Which image do they show you this man coming? So when you read the book of Revelation, he said that he comes riding on a white horse. So you think he's bringing you a good religion, but he is coming to slaughter you.
That's right.
This is the image. Listen to the book.
From verse 20. And so the multitude, allured by the grace of the word,
took him now for a god, this man,
which a little before
he was but a man, but now a little before he was a man, but now they took him as a god.
Which a little before was but honored as a man.
And this was an occasion to deceive
the world.
Satan who deceived the whole world.
That's right.
Right?
For men serving either calamity or tyranny,
did ascribe unto souls and stocks
the incommunicable name. Moreover, this was not enough.
That's all that I want for today. So when you read the book of John 5, verse 40 and 3, he said that I am come in my Father's name. But if another comes in his own name, him you will receive. So if they give you any false image, that one you will receive and call him my Messiah. You will call him Jesus. Not that you have received a revelation about him, but because someone gave it to you. Because your mother told you that, oh, this is Jesus, worship him. And you know that from the beginning, he said that thou shalt not make unto thee any image, but you can use New Testament to justify. So next week, if you are still alive, we will do the touchdown. So that ye may understand. So that the children of Israel found in Africa, Europe, wherever that they might be, may repent and cast out from among them any abominable idol and worship Elohim according to the law of righteousness before everlasting is too late. Shalom.